meteor brought something, all right. But if it's a germ, it's the biggest son of a bitch you've ever seen.
So good.
Oh, the delivery on that too. But if it's a germ, it's just
Biggest motherfucker.
Kevin Dillon put all his training into that.
everything.
Welcome to Screams and Streams, the podcast that looks at the best and worst horror movies as rated on Rotten Tomatoes from 1970 onwards. I'm your host, Sam, and with me are my co-hosts,
Chad
and
Mike.
Be sure to check us out on Instagram. Our handle is @ScreamStreamPod. Also, check out our website at screamsandstreams.com for more information about all the films we're looking at. Just a warning, if you don't like spoilers, we recommend that you stop listening now, check out the film, and then rejoin us for our discussion. Today we're looking at Chuck Russell's 1988 film, The Blob. It scored 68% on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's get into it. Chad, you're going to kick us off with our plot summary.
Sure. A deadly entity from space crash lands near a small town and begins consuming everyone in its path. Panic ensues as shady government scientists try to contain the horrific creature. Is that accurate?
Well, I'd say panic ensues, and then in the last half hour, the government shows up.
I think panic ensues first,
Yes.
not as the shady government. I think while they're being eaten, the panic is being
Yes,
seen.
the screaming happens later.
And then as a fourth act twist, the
Yes.
government shows up.
Yes, exactly. It
All
was a
right.
pretty good twist. I did not see that coming.
No.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for that, Chad. Our sinister sip. Mike, what have you prepared for us today?
Today we are drinking whipped pink lemonade from the Moody Mixologist.
Oh, girl drink drunk. All right.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
It's really good. I like
is.
it.
That's delicious.
I thought it was going to be like, it looks almost like milky. Like, so I thought it was going to be like,
Well, there is half and half in it.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it
it's-
was going to seem like,
Oh, I
yeah.
love raspberries. This
Yeah.
is amazing.
I really, really like it. Well
Vodka,
done.
ginger liqueur, lemon juice, half and half, simple syrup, and raspberries.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Thank
Very,
you.
very good.
You're very welcome.
All right. First impressions. Chad, why don't you start us off? What did you think of this movie?
Oh, well, I had seen this when I was a young lad. I watched it and I remember enjoying it because it was 80s horror. It just kind of follows everything. The formula that 80s horror sets up, it just follows that template to a key. And so I enjoyed it. But rewatching it, I had forgotten little bits and pieces of it, but I don't know. I still liked it. I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it. I liked the blob, that very first scene where the bum pokes it with a stick and then it just like shoots right up immediately and then he starts screaming. I was like, oh my God. There were a lot of moments that I just kind of laughed out loud at and remembered when I was a kid what I liked about it. So yeah, I liked it overall. There were things I'm going to definitely shit on. but overall, I enjoyed it.
Good. Thanks for that, Chad. I would agree. The same thing. I thought it was fun. I'd actually never seen the film before. I've heard of it many, many times. I've seen the movie poster, but yeah, never got around to watching it. And overall, I enjoyed it. Like you said, I thought it was really fun. Like just everything that Chad said. Just everything that I'm going to say.
Ditto.
Minus being a young lad when I watched it first. Mike, what about you?
I thought I had seen this before because I saw Blob 2. I watched all of the Killer Tomatoes films. I remember seeing
God.
like just all those sort of like cheesy drive-in monster movies, right from my childhood. So I thought, well, this one's clearly going to be a rewatch and whatever. I'll see if the nostalgia kicks in. And I've never seen this one. I saw the original Blob and somehow Blob 2, but not this. And yeah, I was surprised how much I liked it. I thought it was like the 1950s one. I just have memories of like the cheesy, like cranberry sauce rolling down the road, like cranberry jelly rolling down the road. And so I was impressed with the special effects. I'm going to start getting into my categories if I go too long. Liked it, enjoyed it, had a great time. Love seeing drama from Entourage again.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I know, a young drama.
I was like, oh, it's that guy.
Yeah. He's that guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, we're going to head into our Tropes Hall of Shame. Mike, you are going to start us out. What tropes did you see?
So because this is an alien movie, we have to have the obligatory pan from space down to Earth.
Oh, yeah.
Right, to open the film.
My first note
right.
was like, fuck, space again.
It's another life force.
Not again.
But we seem to be going up and down. Like The Thing did it, then Life Force did it. And this one did it.
But every time it's the pan from space, I'm like, God damn it.
To quote Sam, oh shit, not aliens again.
Not fucking aliens.
Oh, all right, sorry. And then my other one, and I'll talk about this more later, but you have the star football player and the cheerleader.
Oh, yeah. I had that one.
Yeah, I had that one as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Chad, what did you have?
Well, I had the stereotypical bad boy
Yep.
and the smoking, drinking beer on a motorcycle, no helmet, leather jacket. I'm just breaking all the rules there. So the bad boy in town.
But the white blouse?
Oh,
Yeah, that was very...
beautiful. And I loved when he made the jump and he goes to the mechanic. He's like, I need your tools to fix my bike. He takes duct tape and fixes his jeans. Like,
I didn't see that.
he just like wraps it because there's this tiny hole in his jeans, and I was like, man.
And then
who
all
cares?
he needs is a ratchet set.
That's right.
I was like, I feel like that bike's gonna need a bit more. Than
A little
just
bit
that.
of adjusting. Yeah, you don't need a 9/16 and go in there. Yeah.
But also that scene was so long. Like,
Oh.
too. It was so long, and I was like, he doesn't think he can actually make it, does he? But I know it's to lead up to later in the movie.
Well,
but-
yeah, but it was just so drawn out. He's sitting there just drinking his beer, and then finally he just chugs the last bit, throws it, revs, and then goes and then wipes out his.
I love the guy watching with his dog. Just like, peeping.
I have a note about that guy and his house in the woods later. His little fortress. That thing is pretty insane.
Yeah.
Like,
I made a note saying like he's living the best life. Just
Yeah.
him and his dog out in the middle of nowhere.
they're in the middle of a heat wave, which leads into my next one. Aliens come in a heat wave. That's my next trope.
I also had like the motorcycle smoker drinker badass type guy.
Smoker, drinker, badass.
And then I had the animals sensing that something's off. Obviously.
yeah.
And then also that the specimen is shiny or blinking or something. So it's always like, this is something special and unique and not from Earth. So those were my first two. We have a lot for this category, by the way. There's a lot of tropes. Mike, what else did you have?
The next one I thought was going to be more of a plot point, but it turned out not really until the very end. But it's a ski town, and this year is going to be different.
Oh yeah,
we haven't snowed in years, but this will be the year we profit. So I thought this was going to be like a Jaws / Dark Age situation. Like we got to keep the ski hill open.
Yeah.
Thankfully, no.
And the one guy the mechanic was a snowmobile repairman, and they were talking.
I liked when he put the like beer into the snow machine, like the snowmaker machine. I really like that. I was like, that's so smart. It would taste delicious. Mike, what else did you have?
And the other one I had was apparently in the director's commentary, they said it was a true story, but it's the joke that's been told 100 times where a kid goes to buy condoms. The pharmacist is the father of the girl he's dating.
Yeah.
All right, Chad, what other ones did you have?
I had the school jock and the bad boy don't like each other. They don't get along.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's that animosity, but they both like the head cheerleader. And then my other one was the sheriff always going up to the bad boy and saying, "Hey, what are you up to? And what are you doing in my town?" And,
Yep.
You're turning 18 in a week there.
Yeah. It means you get tried as an adult.
But Mike said it's so much creepier. Kind of similar to you, Chad. I had not believing the like bad guy, like because he's like trying to tell the story, he's not being believed. And then another trope I had was wanting to keep the specimen alive in order to bring it back.
Yes, I had that one later.
We see it all the time. It's like, no, destroy it.
We don't have to kill it. It's murdered many people in this
Take it
town.
over the town.
Maybe let's not keep this one.
Let this one die. Mike, what else did you have?
I also had, similar to the line that you've both been mentioning, is the killer must be the one in the leather jacket, right? Flagg is responsible.
Yeah.
Because he dresses like a hoodlum.
That's right.
And then my other one is, and I think this is just a trope from the 80s. I hope that we get out of soon, but the date rapey.
Oh, yes.
Lane scene.
I had that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
I'm tired of seeing it.
I remember seeing this one and just being like, again? like the football player up at makeout point again, and he's trying to get her drugged up. He's got that whole bar in his back of
That
his
was
car.
quite an elaborate.
I know.
That was one of my test of times.
I was going to say,
That
I was
little-
almost going to put it in gratuitous.
That little mixer he's got.
Yeah.
I was like, holy smokes, this guy's really putting in some effort.
And everything's like up straight and nice.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
That's so funny. All right, Chad, what else do you got?
There's one line, I didn't know whether to put this in one-liners or trope, but the bad guy is going to leave. He's like, let's just get out of the town. Let's get out of here. And Meg says, go ahead, take care of yourself. It's the only thing that you're really good at. And I just said, that is a direct ripoff from Star Wars when she yells at Han Solo because he wants to leave. You know, it's really making sense. Like, this town isn't offering him anything. And he's like, well, why would I stay? Like, let's just hop on my bike and get out of here. And she's like, no, we have to save the town. All right, well, go ahead.
Bye.
So that was one of them. And then the other one was when they bring the homeless man in with the blob on his hand and they're like, does he have insurance?
Absolutely
Okay,
not.
so we're not going to like tend to this guy as it's eating his hand away because, he doesn't have insurance. So I've seen that in multiple movies, not just horror movies. It's always brought up in films.
Yeah.
Do they have insurance? Well, then we just can't do anything for them.
All right, I also had the cops are useless once again.
Oh, yeah.
And then I also said the jock is a jerk. I was very happy when he died. I was so happy when he died. And that's it for me. Mike, what else did you have?
I had the person who knows what's going on must be on drugs. So
Yeah.
Flagg thinks that Meg is strung out.
Right.
And then opposites attract or opposites solve the issue. So you've got Flagg and Meg, the head cheerleader, and the rough, reckless kid pair up, and they're the ones that solve everything.
Right.
Yeah. Chad, did you have some more?
Saved in the nick of time by falling into the sewer.
Yeah.
Like it's creeping up and then he just goes down. And my last one is the priest thinks it's the second coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was one of mine where I was like, it's all been prophesied in the Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, I haven't read the whole thing. I was raised Roman Catholic. I don't remember any of it.
The giant
Talking about
pink blob.
Giant gelatinous glob of goo coming in, and which is actually like acid inside.
They missed the mark on that.
And then the last one I had, which is a great callback to a lot of movies in the 80s where it's like, they're going to use it to fight the Russians.
Oh, right.
Oh, the Cold War.
I had forgotten about that. Yeah, that's good.
All right, we're going to move into our one-liners. What line stood out to you first, Chad?
When Paul goes in to pick up Meg for their date, he meets the dad for the first time and he pulls down the paper and he says, ribbed. And as a reference to the scene previous where his buddy was going to buy the condoms and he blames it on Paul.
Yeah.
So that was my first one. And my second quote was... So I watched this a while ago, so I'm trying to remember all the instances that these things were said, but I just wrote this down because I thought it was funny. I think this is when they bring the guy into the hospital, but it says, watch out, he's got some kind of gruesome shit on his hand. So I put that one on there.
That's good. That's a good way to describe it. Some gruesome shit. All right, thanks for those. Mike, what one-liners did you have?
So my first line, and I can't remember exactly the scene, but it's Kevin, don't eat with your face, the Jell-O scene.
That's the one where it goes from the blob right to the dinner table, and then
Okay.
he slurps up the Jell-O. And I actually have that later for one of the scenes that I liked, because I was like, it's such a good cut as well. And he just like slurps it up. It's like just this like cube of Jell-O. So yeah.
Right. And then my other line that I quite liked was when they're in the back of the restaurant and he like gets startled and swings and he like breaks open a can. He's like, great, I killed the strawberry jam.
One that I had also had to do with the pharmacist and the condom buying scene, and it was just, he doesn't need condoms, he needs a muzzle, is what the pharmacist said, and I kind of like that one. And then my second one is, I feel like Hansel and Gretel out here. I should have brought some fucking breadcrumbs.
Oh,
As they're looking around. Chad, what other ones did you have?
again, it's the condoms. See, I keep going back to this one. Give me a pack of Trojans and a Banaka spray.
Banaka.
And there was one that says, and I'm not sure where this comes from, but I wrote it down. Don't worry, there's no sex or anything like that.
Maybe it's when they go to see the horror movie.
Oh, yeah, that's right. When the kids are sneaking into Texas Chainsaw, is it Texas Chainsaw
Yeah, it's
Massacre?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
They sneak in to go see it, and he says, "Don't worry, there's no sex or anything like that, but it's just this horribly graphic film for 11-year-olds to go see." Yeah.
Oh, so good. Mike, what other one-liners did you have?
I had a couple. I really liked Kevin Dillon in this, and they gave him some good lines. The front door's locked. That's okay. Picks up a rock. I've got a key. So I like that one. And then later when the government is showing up, I just liked it because it's like the list is hilarious. We don't even know who they are. NASA, CIA, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
I had that one too. So good. Oh, the RCMP.
The CIA to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
There's a few levels of government organizations that got skipped.
Oh, that's a good one. All right. So that one was one of mine as
awesome.
well. And then I also had when the sheriff, and I can't remember when he says it. I think it's towards the end, but I don't know. You hear this all the time. It's like a dad joke. I feel like the one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest.
Yeah,
I just can't not include
I've
that
heard
one in
that.
there.
Yeah.
All right. Chad, what else did you have?
When they're figuring out that they can freeze it, there's like, wait a minute, hockey season ended months ago. Just the stupidest thing to say. It was late. I was tired, and I was watching this thing, and I was like, "Oh, that's gold."
Gold,
And then I
Jerry,
read it again. Like, oh my god, why would?
All right, now we're going to move into what doesn't hold up. I'm going to start us off. The first thing that didn't hold up for me was the spaceship explosion. So I thought it looked bad, then good, and then really bad again.
Yes,
So I just,
there were multiple clips
I
of
so that's what I had. I
these
did not.
angles.
The angles. Yeah, I was like, oh, it looks okay for a little bit there, but no.
For a little bit there.
Something was going on.
Yeah.
And then another thing, the kids' mushroom cuts.
Right.
No,
We all were victim to that at
Yeah.
some point in our childhoods, I think.
Nice.
Mike, what didn't hold up for you?
The first thing right off the bat was the horrible sort of like early 90s, late 80s credits with the purple glow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just felt like it just doesn't hold up. It wouldn't make it in a film now.
Yeah.
But it seems to like proliferate through this era. The other thing that doesn't show up, it's to the condom scene. Yes, it was a trope buying condoms and the pharmacist is there, but like, you know, you're buying condoms and the priest is the next person in line.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, that's almost a trope too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like they always do that. Or the only thing that would have made it worse is if he had to like call for a price check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On ribbed condoms.
Emphasize the
Yeah.
ribbed. Perfect. Thanks, Mike. Chad, what didn't hold up for you?
Well, my first thing was the football equipment. It was old, it's bulky, it's just
not
not
safe.
it's just not used anymore. And the way the jerseys were all big and wide and floppy, now they're skin tight.
They're actually
Yeah.
skin tight. My school just did this thing where they started giving them the seniors as they're leaving for their last home game. They give their jersey to the teachers. And I'm telling you right now, those are not made for women who have had children. They do not fit. They are skin tight. Crazy. But yeah, I would agree with that, Chad.
Yeah.
What else did you have?
Well, similar to you with the ship, where there were scenes with the Blob. Overall, I thought the Blob looked okay, but then there were definite scenes where he was superimposed onto a scene, and it looked really, really fake.
Yeah.
The green screen matte effect.
Yes.
Yeah, I had that as well.
Yeah. So that was my.
Yeah, I had that one too. And then I also said that some of the effects on top of that were kind of cheesy, especially with that hack scene. So I just noted that, especially like right after the sewers with the priest, I said those ones were really, really bad as well. And then my last thing that didn't hold up, I said the medical insurance thing. And I was like, just privatized healthcare in general in the United States. All right, Mike.
My last one, because I also had the matte green screen.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was going to put this in shadows or it doesn't hold up, but it's the scene where he's at the vending machine and he has like, from there, he has a clear view of the room, but then like he thinks something's up and he tries to get to the hospital room. And as I said, like he then walks through a mesh around a door and then around a corner And then that's how he finds the hospital room that the person's in. Like, but he was at the vending machine. You can see it right over his shoulder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it just didn't hold up because like they didn't use the physicality of the space properly.
Right.
Yeah.
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 They wanted to build tension and
And it did not work.
Didn't work.
Now we're going to talk about the most gratuitous scene. Chad, what did you find gratuitous in this movie?
This one was more graphic for me. It was when Paul gets eaten by the blob. First when he falls down on him, and then she comes in and opens the door and sees him like almost being pulled apart.
yeah,
Yes.
across his face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like pulling his face really tight and he's screaming, help me, help me, help me. And then she grabs his arm and his arm just like comes off.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
So I thought it was gruesome and gross all in the right way though. So using gratuitous not as a bad thing, just kind of, it was
Yeah.
kind of gross. So I like that.
All right, Mike, what was gratuitous for you?
My gratuitous is similar to Chad, where it's not an overuse, but it's a great gore or effect. And I wrote it down as the melted cheese of the homeless guy's lower half.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
Where it's just like dripping and oozing. And
Yeah.
It's
they did
still kind of sizzling when they pull back the sheet. And
Yeah.
yeah.
It's so well done.
Yeah. I thought all of the deaths, especially for the first part, were like super, super well done.
Yeah.
Like, all right. Thanks for that, Mike. Mine was I didn't know where to put that scene as well where Paul dies.
Right.
I kind of was going between stood the test of time because I thought it was just really, really well done. But I ended up putting it most gratuitous. And then my other most gratuitous was the opening credits. It was 3 minutes and 40 seconds. I went back and looked and I was like, that's a crime in a movie. That should
So I
never
fast
happen.
forwarded. Like,
Oh,
I didn't sit through it all, but
I was like, it's still going on. I like went and got a snack and came back. I was like, what is happening? Yeah, and I went back and it was 3 minutes and 40 seconds.
Wow.
It feels like an eternity though now, right? Because they don't make you sit through opening credits anymore.
No. And when there's nothing going on in the background too, it's like,
Yeah.
oh my God. Skip. Yeah. All right. Now we're going to move into terrifying or titillating. I didn't find anything either, but let's see what what Chad and Mike have come up with. Chad, what was terrifying or titillating for you?
Well, I just thought Meg in the cheerleader outfit was very cute. She actually, the actress who played her,
Shawnee Smith.
Smith.
yeah, I had a crush on her when I was a young boy.
Young
yeah,
lad.
yeah. So
whippersnapper.
yeah, and so I really liked her. So when I saw her in the cheerleader costume, I was like, "Yep, that's good stuff."
Still checks the boxes.
yeah.
Mike, what about you?
My first one is, or I guess I'll say like, I found this movie good, but I wouldn't, and like there was a few suspenseful scenes, but nothing terrifying. So we're going to jump to the titillating.
Okay.
I'm so interested.
So Erica Eleniak plays Vicky, and this is, I think, a couple years before she gets a Playboy centerfold pictorial. So yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
But I just put like when Vicky is passed out, it's clearly a mannequin, right? During the like he goes back to mix drinks and then like it's a completely different like skin
Look.
tone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just weird. And that scene was just uncomfortable. And
It was.
and
yeah.
to have this like the next episode basically after Return to Horror High, I'm like, what? I don't
Yeah.
want this.
I know.
Yeah. And then my next one, and I hope I don't step on someone's test of time, but when they cut to, you find out later it's the film in the drive-in, but it's a Lover Lane scene. And it's like, what's that guy doing up there? Like, maybe it's a peeping Tom. And then she's like, well, then let's give him something to peep at. Or
So I had that in my one-liners, but I actually couldn't remember who had said it or what it was, like the context, so I left it out.
Because I quite liked it, where it's like, it's just this weird random, like, who are these people? We haven't been introduced to them in the film. Why is the guy trimming hedges at midnight? And then you find out it's like the bad movie within the movie.
Yeah. Man, when you first said that, I was mid-drink on this giant raspberry. It almost went up through my nose.
I've been there before. I know. I always have to sip cautiously. All right. Thanks to those, Mike. Now we're going to go into what stood the test of time. Mike, you're going to start us off. What stood the test of time for you?
My first one is just, I was shocked. Frank Darabont co-wrote the screenplay, right? Shawshank Redemption, Walking Dead, Green Mile. Like he's a powerhouse now.
Right.
And this is one of his earlier scripts.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it was just cool. going into this, I thought like, well, this is a B movie horrible horror. But then when I saw that, I'm like, hooray, like there's a chance it'll be good. And
Yeah. And it was.
it was.
What else stood the test of time?
And you've already talked about this, but the effect when Paul is taken by the blob, right? The way it moves over his face and Meg pulling off his arm, like just phenomenal.
Yeah.
My two were also death scenes. I really liked the phone booth scene. I know like phone booths, we don't see them anymore, but I loved that. Like just being trapped in there with the blob. Like
that was the waitress, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was Fran.
That made me sad. I liked Fran.
I liked Fran too.
Yeah. I even had a note about that, so I'll double up with you. It was like, didn't want the waitress to die. Did like how it was done, though.
But it was done well. The poor waitress. And then my other one was in that same scene. I loved the carburetor scene.
Yeah.
I think his name was George. He gets sucked into
That's my what the fuck.
But it was so good. I like a couple of these could go into a couple different categories, I think. So
For sure, yeah.
But yeah, this one I loved that death. Yeah. I'm so scared of carburetor.
In the director's commentary, they talked about like that wasn't originally in it, and they wanted a few more scares.
Right.
And so they thought like, well, what are some things that people are terrified of? And it's like black holes, like holes into what you can't see, and then carburetors. And they're like, oh, this is perfect. And they threw that in, and I'm like, yeah. And that was a phenomenal choice.
Yeah, it did so well.
Yeah.
All right, Chad, I know you gave one, but what else stood the test of time for you?
Well, I thought the blood overall in the whole movie looked really good. The gore effects in this are really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if the blob looks kind of, I don't know, shitty in some scenes, he does look really good in others. And then especially in the kill scenes, like they really take their time and make him look good.
Yeah.
So I like the effects, the blood, and then, most of the kill scenes I thought really stood the test of time.
Yeah, I thought they were really good.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, did you have any others?
I did have the fully stocked bar in his trunk of his car. I mean, drunk driving does not stand the test of time.
Yeah.
What happens later does not stand the test of time. But I was like, I just thought like, oh man, if I had that camping,
Yeah.
I would love to have that. Yeah.
Where would you put your equipment?
I don't have kids in the back seat.
Yeah, I guess.
I have an SUV. I've got a fully stocked back, tent, sleeping pads. That's all I need. And
I got the kids and the dogs. And
There's no way I could fit a bar in it.
No.
a hammock, a tent, a cooler.
Yeah,
and a fully stocked
I'm lucky
bar.
to get my booze in the cooler. Sometimes it's got to sit loose until I can find some space.
The juice takes priority.
That's right.
Juice boxes.
We're doing whiskey till there's room in the cooler for my beer.
I remember one time going camping with a box of wine. I remember having to take it out of the box, and it's just this sad bag sitting on top. Like squeezing. I was like, oh, this is my low. I feel.
My other test of time is just Kevin Dillon kicking the cops who gets in his face.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, yeah, fuck authority.
Fuck the police. Perfect. Thanks to those. All right, Mike, you had one more?
Yeah, I did. I just wrote Meg's a badass. Like for a final girl to like basically kill the alien entity.
Okay. Yeah, she turns into Rambo at the end. Whereas in the last, like the whole hour, she's looking to be saved. And then in the last 20 minutes, she picks up an N16 and just goes fucking insane.
She's a badass.
Just needed time to get her confidence.
I think we should have seen a little more progression with her character than now I'm kicking ass. Yeah. But yeah, she does.
It's a commentary on feminism in the 80s. With men around, women weren't empowered.
Now, you can say what you want. I just think it was poorly written.
I just didn't like it. All right, now we're going to move into what was eerie or ear-splitting. Mike, you were the only one with a comment for this category.
Yeah, and I just wrote down the music was neither good nor bad.
And we all agree.
That's pretty accurate.
That's my comment. It was there.
It existed.
Nothing was really, I would say, set apart anything audio-wise in this film.
No, blue ribbon of participation.
You did it. All right, now we're going to move into our what the fuck moment. Chad, what the fuck?
All right. My what the fuck we talked about, it was the guy being sucked down the sink drain.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that scene. I remember just being like, oh, ow. And like, just the way he comes down in chunks. Like it's, it was pretty brutal. So that was my what the fuck.
So good. So good. Mike.
My what the fuck is more random. I just wrote, the homeless guy has a frying pan for a shoe.
Was that a shoe?
Yeah, when he's walking along, he's got a frying pan like tied or taped to his foot.
That's what he was crushing the cans with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
my
was up
gosh.
there smashing the cans with a cast iron frying pan.
That's heavy. That's a
That's
workout.
heavy, yeah.
That's a workout.
That guy's one quad is just
Ripped. I wonder if he switches it.
get an even workout. I don't know.
That's funny. All right, now we're going to look at our back it up moments. I didn't have any. Chad, what back it up moments did you have?
My back it up was when Paul died.
Yeah.
I watched it, I don't know, a couple of times.
Yeah.
I just like the
So
way
good.
the way he just kind of looks up and then it's sitting there. I will say, if you go back to Eerie to Ear Splaying, the sound of the blob when he's just kind of around is like
Yeah.
he's just kind of up on the ceiling making this noise and then it falls down on him and envelops him. It was a really cool scene, so I watched it a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. Mike, back it up moment.
Mine was the movie theater attack.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that whole scene, the panic, the lighting. It was so well done.
I liked when the guy who kept talking about what was going to happen or whatever, I liked when he died. So, that was very good.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to move into what was hiding in the shadows. Mike, what was hiding in the shadows for you?
I've mentioned the first one, but it was just seeing Kevin Dillon in this and then trying to like reconcile what he plays in Entourage.
Yes.
And it's like, this is 100% what they're referencing for him, where he's like, you had one movie.
Oh,
Because in Entourage, like drama has one movie from his past. I'm like, this was Kevin Dillon's one movie.
Oh.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. For me, something that was hiding in the shadows, I just wanted to talk about after he launches the bike over the bridge and then he gives the middle finger. I think it was just like really funny energy. I don't know. I like that. Chad, what was hiding in the shadows for you?
And this is more a comment on how long it took them to figure out how to, beat the blob. I said, I like how they didn't figure out it can't stand the cold till the end. When about mid-film, Meg and the bad boy are locked in the cooler and
bad
it
boy.
retreats. Like
Meg
it goes,
and the bad boy.
it goes into that cooler and then
Yeah.
and then it pulls back and they still, we dodged that one. How do we beat this thing?
Oh, just wait till we watch Signs.
I did have another little talking point. Maybe you guys can clarify because it's been a while and I wasn't sure if I got this right. But I said I thought it was an alien, but the people in the white, the government guys, say it was an experimental virus.
Yeah, that's what I didn't get either. Like, why show a space then and a meteor?
Yeah, and it comes down, it blows up, and then they were saying that they were experimenting with.
Germ warfare.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. Well, if it was a germ, it was the biggest son of a...
Yeah, that's right.
Motherfucker, I think.
Hence our opening quote.
Mike, what else was hiding in the shadows for you?
My other one was just, I put like, this movie is full of, hey, it's that person. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's exactly what I said.
That's
when,
right.
when
Yeah,
Dylan
it's like,
came
oh, I
in.
remember them.
It's a bunch of hey thems. But then I didn't write any names down or characters. But the big one was the sheriff is played by Jeffrey DeMunn from Green Mile, Walking Dead. Yeah. Shawshank, everything.
Yeah, oddly enough, usually plays law enforcement.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to move into bonus features where we look at some of the research we've done after or about the film. I'm going to start us off. I have that Paul actually took Shawnee Smith, Meg, to his senior prom at Hollywood High. He wrote her a thank you note afterwards, which she kept for years, and they later appeared together in this film, which I thought was kind of nice. Yeah,
Sweet.
I thought it was kind of cute. And then another thing that I found was that Kevin Dillon was wearing hair extensions
Yes.
Ooh.
during the film, and he hated them. But Russell really wanted the character to look that way.
Yeah.
Dare I say, it was bouffant.
It was, I found that in trivia and they talk about it in the audio commentary.
Oh, do they? Yeah.
So it must have been
so
a big
funny.
sticking point for him.
No kidding, hey? Did Russell say anything about it?
He just really wanted him to have that hair, like 1980s rebel. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Chad, what bonus features do you have?
Well, I found this on the website. I hope this doesn't step on Mike's toes because he usually talks about the budget. But
No, go ahead.
of the film's reported $15 million budget, $5 million went towards visual effects. Although director Chuck Russell claims that both those numbers are highly exaggerated and the total budget was closer to just under $10 million. I'm not sure what it made in the box office, so I didn't get that.
8.2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a box office
So
bomb.
it was a bomb.
no.
That's too bad. Well, I know I didn't see it in the theater. I watched it at home. It was a rental.
Yeah.
I have another one. Chad McQueen was offered the part of Brian Flagg, but turned it down. He did so due to disliking the script and to have a strict personal policy of never performing in any production based on or inspired by the work of his actor father, Steve McQueen, who was in the original Blob.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Do you know who Steve McQueen is?
No.
Yeah.
No.
He's before your time.
Yeah.
I'm young.
He was like the Brad Pitt of the 50s, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will look up a photo, determine that for myself. All right, Mike, what bonus features do you have?
This one I thought was quite interesting because when we watched The Thing, it was a person with a double amputee who did the scene where the arms get chomped off by the Thing, right? So they just use fake arms. But the melted homeless person was played by an army vet injured in the Vietnam War who was a triple amputee.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
That's
just
cool.
interesting casting. Just to go to the box office thing, one of the reasons why the movie didn't do very well was while the movie was in post-production, TriStar Pictures changed management and the new executive team had little interest in the in-progress films made prior to the change and just advertised it and marketed it poorly to intentionally tank it, basically.
Oh, that's too bad.
That's too bad. You know, that kind of pisses me off because, I mean, lots of people work hard. And I know it's a silly horror film and it's fun and whatever, but people work hard on the movies. And for a studio to come in and do that and just basically not put any effort into it, it's got to be disheartening for the people that work on those films.
Yeah.
I also had that there was a small scene where the creature's crawling towards the town and it was cut from the film. It was not left unused, though. It ended up in Ghostbusters 2 as part of the slime attacking New York.
We all know how good that movie was.
And then I also had that the filmmakers considered changing the blob's color from reddish pink to green. They decided the look was too iconic to replace and it made more sense as it starts out transparent but turns red due to the blood of its victims.
Yeah,
that's that.
I think if they had a green, it would just look like flubber. Just like a giant fucking Robin Williams.
I'd be waiting for Dick Van Dyke the whole film.
That's right.
I didn't mind that movie. Clever.
I just had one more and then I'm done. It's just about the blob itself. A lot of the blob slime juice was made out of methocel, which is a thickening ingredient used in milkshakes that is both unbelievably slippery and gooey. And to simulate the blob moving over surfaces, methocel was sometimes put on miniature sets placed at 90 degrees angle so that the gravity would make the stuff ooze down and simulate natural movement. So much methocel was used on the set that director Chuck Russell was reportedly put off from drinking milkshakes for several decades.
Decades? Whoa. That's crazy.
Like, this stuff goes in my milkshake? No, I'm not doing it.
I'm done. I'm out.
I'm out of this, yeah.
Mike, what else did you have?
Terry Hatcher was considered for the role of Meg.
Oh,
A very young Terry Hatcher. And then just a little thing on Chuck Russell, because Frank Darabont was the co-writer of the script, but he also contributed a bit. And he went on to sort of touch up and add the humor to Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Judge Dreamwalkers all you want, but it's got some good humor in it.
Yeah. Okay.
And he made The Mask with Jim Carrey.
Really?
Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah, he's got some chops. And I found a website and it's so wonderful. It's a review of the film written from the Blob's perspective. So I just wanted to
Okay. Need to hear this.
So the Blob is arguing about how it's the hero of the movie.
Oh, awesome.
So it's like, you might be asking yourself about how I qualify as a hero. Well, let me break it down for you. The guy who kept talking through the slasher classic Garden Tool Massacre, I digested him. Deputy Briggs, who enjoys threatening minors and mocking them for not knowing their fathers, digested him too. Scott Jeske, who's clearly a serial date rapist, digested the hell out of him with an extra dose of gooey comeuppance for being such a terrible person. You're welcome, movie fans. And there's so much more on the website. It's so well done.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
We've talked about the effects in the film, and what I found interesting was they talked about the Methacel and a few other things, and they were learning as they were doing this film. So quite often, I think the reason why the budget was so big on the special effects is quite often they're like trying to do it, couldn't get it.
Yeah.
But the scene where the blob, like the very first scene where the blob takes Paul, which is the first big kill, was actually the last special effect done.
Oh, okay.
Because they took everything that they learned from making it viscous, making it slimy, making it move properly so that they could, because they're like, we need the first appearance of the blob to be shocking.
Kick ass. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were like, we'll do everything else and then put everything into that scene.
Right.
And I think that's why some of the effects don't work, is because they're still learning on the job. And,
Right.
Yeah. And I know, Sam, you like this. International titles.
I love this. Is my favorite one.
Argentina called it the voracious stain.
What? Okay.
Brazil, it's the killer bubble.
Oh, God.
Finland, drowning death. Sweden, floating death. Greek, the Greek title, moving mass.
I kind of like that. It's not wrong.
Spain, I like this one. Terror has no form.
Oh.
No, that's all right.
Yeah.
And then
It's a little long.
Yeah.
and then the translation from Mandarin to English for the Taiwanese
Oh,
release.
I love these. Oh, these are awesome always. Yeah.
UFO magic spot. Sounds like an erotic thriller on Cinemax.
It does. It really does. A different type of movie.
These alien ladies up in there.
She showed me her UFO magic spot.
Wow. That's what Life Force should have been called. They would have made a killing. Canon would have been like, holy shit.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh, amazing. All right, thanks for those. We're going to move into our watchability scale. Mike, you're going to tell us, where would you put this on our scale?
It's interesting because like it's not great, but it's so fun. 6. I think it's worth having fun, worth watching. It's not one of those ones where it's like watch and make fun of. Mm-hmm. This is a enjoyably produced, enjoyably done film. So it's a 6 for me.
Yeah, I'm also giving it a 6 for the same reasons. It's not like, even though it's full of tropes, it's entertaining, it's fun. I liked it. So I'm going to go with a 6 as well. Chad?
I'm going to go a little higher. I'm going to give it a 7. I really enjoyed it. As much as, there are some flaws in the film and there's some silliness, but I even like the silliness. So I'll just give it a 7. I think you should check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely worth checking out for sure.
For sure.
All right, thank you very much for listening to us. Remember to follow us on Instagram. We are at ScreamStreamPod. Stop by our website, screamsandstreams.com, where we have information about our episodes, descriptions of our categories, links to our research, our watchability scale, and a page where you can recommend movies that you want us to discuss. And please rate, comment on, and subscribe to our show on any of the platforms where you get your podcasts. Until next time, this has been Sam and
Chad?
and
Mike.
scare you later.